What's going on? It's your girl Fathom DJ here with a unboxing. How are we going to start this conversation based on the idea that this is a period where most DJs, and I shouldn't say most, what I should say is this is a period where lots of risk taking is happening. We as DJs are in an interesting state because most of us who are full time DJs or in the music industry in some capacity, as it pertains to nightclubs and venues and bars and lounges and things of that nature, we're all we kind of have our hands tied. Now, if you purchased gear or equipment, and I know I should probably be on camera when I talk about this, but this is an unboxing. So that's why it's focused on the box. But if you are an independent contractor or in the gig economy, taking risks to purchase equipment is most certainly a huge risk, especially when you don't know exactly when your next paycheck is going to come. Now, that's something that could be considered normal unless you have a long standing residency or association with several venues or corporate entities or um, promoters or things of that nature. But that's not happening right now. So it's a risk. But I came to the conclusion probably last year that my controller was starting to act a little strange. It is almost 5 years old now, almost 5 years old, I think. And I noticed that a few of the lights on the hot cues would stay lit. And just recently, probably in the last week and a half, I noticed that one of my jog wheels was kind of toggling between scratch mode and whatever that slower kind of mode is, that I don't know because I always use the scratch mode. So it's failing. And I've done a little research to make sure that that is indeed the case. So what I did is I jumped out the window because I wanted to go back analog, and this is replacing one of the Pioneer. I think it was the 600 or the 650 silver faced ones from back in the day. That was my first real professional. I won't say first real professional, but that was my first club mixer, and I had it forever, and I sold it. So as soon as I sold it, I was like, I started eyeballing a 2-channel mixer, and this was one of the 2-channel mixers that I came across. Did I want to have to purchase it right now? No. And this is something that probably won't leave the house so much. I have to buy another controller. So the question becomes, what am I going to do when I have mobile gigs and things of that nature? Because I purchased this and it was a risk. Honestly, going backwards, I should have been purchasing I think it's the SRT 1000 controller. That's a little more money than I need to be spending right now. This, at the rate that it was, is a lot of money for me to be spending right now. Luckily, Zounds and American Musical Supply have the payment plan, and yeah, I'm nervous about it, but I had to do it. I am having a DJ console built by my brother Boogie Knight, and the most realistic thing for me to do at this point would be to pull back out my turntables, which I'm excited about, and add. Most people would have added the S9, but again, that's far more expensive. I purchased a Denon box last year for gigs with analog equipment to convert to be able to play Serato and use my laptop. So this is in addition to that. So the idea is to move away from the controller for my performances and get into a more digital / analog space. And so here we are with the DJ M450. I had to give you that information because it is something that you really have to think about during this period. Zounds and American Music Supply have been very, very helpful. I purchased the Big Knob Mackie Studio interface recently, and as soon as the gates closed, that's what we'll call it, on the world in terms of nightlife and things of that nature, I had to call them and ask them to push my payments back, and they were very, very receptive to that. And they did, and I appreciate that. So to come back less than 3 months later and be like, yo, I need a mixer, it's a lot. But I pray that my work starts to connect soon, because I'm taking a lot of risks, and I don't have, as it stands, I don't have an income. I have a mother who's being really good to me, and I have people on Facebook and things of that nature who have been hitting my Cash App, and that's been helpful to buy groceries and things of that nature. But this is me jumping out the window for the love of my craft and to further my possibilities. I just can't take the idea of not being able to use my jog wheels, because I am a physical person. I have to touch. And I mean, I can play internally, I can play based on the cues and the pitch, but I like to pull and manipulate the jog wheels, and that wasn't working for me. Anyway, I'm already at 6 minutes. So I'm going to chop this up. It'll be 2 parts, I guess. So we're in the box. And, of course, there's a power cord that comes with it. It's the regular 8. Can you see that? The 8th power cord that happens. And it attaches to this adapter. So there's 2 pieces to the power cord situation for this girl. So it goes like that. Like that. And interestingly enough, this is going to get really interesting, because this is a USB for the board. And interestingly enough, I'm hoping that I can run this out to OBS on my spare computer, and I'll be able to get a clean and very bassy feed directly into OBS for streaming. That is my prayer. What are my prayers for this? All right, so we're getting in the box, and I really should have been waiting to do the unboxing when my turntables and my console are all together. That's going to be interesting, because it's going to be shipped from Arizona, and it's wood. So that's going to be an interesting process. I could go on, but you don't need to know all my good business. All right, so take this girl out the box. Manual and record box hob. I care not for record box. But anyway, so that is the manual, and it's got, I'm certain, and I think the last time I did this for a larger piece of equipment, somebody was like, oh no, don't show your serial numbers and blah, 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 and stuff. So no, I'm not going to, but that is the card for record box DVS. I'm not using that. I'm going to use the denim box that I purchased last year that I love so much. So we're going to put this on the floor. Oh, she's such a little girl. Look at her. Look at her. So my silver-faced mixer that was well over 15 years old, I think, was so big and heavy and hot. Like, it started to get, look at her. Look at her. She's sacred. Nobody is talking. She's, I can only pray. I'm going to take a couple photos. I can only pray that she is as good to me. This is a step in the direction that I've been asking for a long time. And once again, it's a little soon to be taking this step, but it had to happen. Um, it had to. So anyway, so yeah, this is the unboxing of the Pioneer 4 M450. She's 2 channels of light. She might be light. It might be as light as the Pioneer SX2. She's light. She smells good. Hopefully she doesn't get hot. Um, what am I super interested in right now? It's got one USB. I would have dreamed to have two, but that's just not the circumstances. Um, 2 channels, an auxiliary, of course, you know what that's for. I probably use this auxiliary line. Hopefully, I'm not. I doubt that it's an out. I'm sure it's an in. I'm almost positive. It would be great if it was an in and an out for an extra feed for your computer or feed for your phone or tablet or something like that. Master outs, two master auxiliary outs, 2 channels with the line and the phono, of course. Mic balanced. I really, really wish that this was a XLR off the bat. Um, when I was reading about it, I was kind of like, well, I didn't think they got enough room. They could have put an XLR on here, but hey, I didn't make it. On the front, this girl's pretty simple, pretty compact. Fader is nice and loose. I was expecting it to be a little stiff. Colors, I had to have. There's a different version. I think it's the M250, and it's like $300. And I've used it at a venue that I used to work at, and it's a great mixer. The issue with that is that it didn't have its own effects and things on it. And for the sake of the fact that I really like using my effects, and I'm trading out or replacing this with from my Pioneer SX2, I needed to have them outside of the program because I like to echo and I like to phase and I like, using a lot of isolation and things of that nature. So I needed it on the actual board. So I pray, and we're at 12 minutes. Jesus, this is the longest one. I might do a edit of it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I pray that I don't have any issues paying for this mixer because, again, this period is crazy. I also pray that I will be able to get the Bonjour isolator to go with this mixer because this is my first step to approaching analog vinyl again, and this is my first. Not to say, I have to say this, not to say that you can't do that with the SX2 because I played vinyl on it, but I don't like how big the board is. I want my turntables right next to the mixer. I want a short board. I want to be able, if I decide that I want to work on my cutting and scratching, I can do that. I don't like having to stretch away from the sacred. I don't like having to stretch away from the mixer in order to get to the turntable. So that was one of the things because I tried, I have video of me playing vinyl on through the XS2, and I was just like, it just didn't feel real to me. It's like mixing church and state. So anyway, this one's relatively long, and I apologize for that. But once again, this is the Pioneer DD. Oops, see, I'm in the wrong mode. This is the Pioneer DJ M450. And actually, I'm just going to hug it and put it back in the box because until I get a table to sit my turntables on, and I can switch out from the stand. Probably a better idea to get that all taken care of. But I should have a table, a makeshift table that I'm going to use here in the next couple of days until I can actually get my console here. So I'm stepping on faith right now and just sharing that tidbit at the beginning, in hopes that the rest of this year ends up bearing better fruit than the last 3 months, so that we can pay this girl off and make some more money as a DJ and a music director and a producer and an entrepreneur in the great city of Atlanta. Fathom DJ live and direct via YouTube. I will see you. You will see my face because I have to talk about Teespring and the new website that I'm launching so that I can sell some t-shirts and further my brand needs in this interesting economy. Cosmic kisses and well wishes to you and yours, and I hope that you're safe and your family is safe, and I will see you soon. Space.